here in Northamptonshire, myself, Andrew Mather, and Henry Baudet, getting ready for the first final of the O-Plate meeting for 2024, and it's MiniMax, Henry, who will go first.
Yes, indeed. But of course, with a lot of things this year, things are very, very different in terms of our coverage. We've been bringing you pictures from the Motorsport race control truck with our driving standard advisor. We've had Nicole Sutherland down on the pits interviewing drivers after race. But after the premiere of the Paddock Show, now we have the first of what will be hopefully a season-long series of grid walks, normally reserved just for kart masters, but here at the O-Plate and hopefully for the rest of British Championship season, another chance to speak to the drivers just before they go out. But as we look there, no, so this is MiniMax. We have got 34 drivers. While we wait there, let's have a quick look. Who hasn't made it?
This one's all good, because this had a grid smaller than 34 to begin with, so they've all made it. I do think we can now head down to the grid and Nicole Sutherland. Nicole, over to you.
Well, thank you, Henry. We're just going to quickly catch up with our pole and front row. Finlay, you just got a second. How are you feeling going into this race?
Confident.
Yeah. You think you can get the O-Plate in there?
Definitely.
Very best of luck to you. Just going to catch up as well with Oliver Spencer, who is our 2023 MicroMax O-Plate. Jono, Oliver, Ollie, how are you feeling ahead of this race?
Good.
And you are our 2023 Micro O-Plate. You reckon you can do the same again in MiniMax?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, very best of luck to you, Oliver. JP, how are you feeling?
Nervous. Hopefully we can do it.
Well, best of luck to you both. I think that's all we've got time for before we head off. So back to Henry and Andrew in the box.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Good to hear a few thoughts. The nervous sounding a bit from the drivers, sounding a bit nervous down there before the start of this one. It will be race number 26 in the schedules for MiniMax 950. All the finals longer than the superheats that we had earlier on today. There'll be 12 minutes plus one lap for the drivers to decide who will become British Open champion, who will become the O-Plate holder in MiniMax for 2024. The winner of this race will have the right to use the O-Plate through every single race that they do for the rest of the season, including, of course, the Wera Tools British Kart Championships. Great season of events coming up for you. You can watch it all here on the Motorsport TV platform and network of channels, including the new Karting UK channel on YouTube. At our Karting UK is the handle. If you've not done so already, head over there to subscribe to that one as well. Plenty of content coming up, including the, let's say, we had the Paddock Show earlier from last night. We also had the Paddock Show from Friday night as well at the start of the weekend, which if you've not watched yet, do give that a watch once. We're all done here, but the yellow light turns to green for the start of the formation lap. This is the MiniMax 950 O-Plate final. Time for finals racing then in the 2024 British O-Plate. Here is the grid for the MiniMax 950 O-Plate race. Finlay Lines on pole position alongside Luca Holmes-Ballack on the front row. Edward Haynes and Oliver Spencer start on row 2. Tom Reed and Jack Collinson go from row number 3.
On row number 4, Charlie King and the reigning MicroMax Grand Finals champion Jensen Chalk. Hasnain Khan and Joshua Griffin are on row 5. Blair Smith, Stonehouse Blair Smith, and Daniel Minto on row 6.
On row 7, starting 13th on the grid, Alex Goodson and Albie Friend. Zach Starbuck and Jaime Ambrose on row 8. Leo Livingston, Cian Bernard start on row number 9.
Watch a friend and watch for Bernard. Then you've got McAndrew Uren, another driver to watch. Finlay Lines, Miles Burton, Max Gilman, Riley Murrow, Benjamin Lawn.
All down to 24th place, Louis Radcliffe and Max Wheatley, Harry Taylor, and there's the rest of them through the order. Are we good for a start of 12 minutes plus 1 lap? We have had one retirement already, which is Alfie Ward. We are good. Green lights. Away we go then for the MiniMax 950 final. Is anybody going to be able to take the challenge to Finlay Lines, who's dominated the heats and the superheat? They're all defending to the inside. Edward Haynes is immediately up to 2nd place. This is what we've seen. Henry is round there. 360 for Riley Murrow in the number 38 for Sam Pollitt Racing, whose O-plate final finishes on lap 1, stuck in the grass at Christmas Corner.
Did you see the racing line that Finlay Lines was taking into Christmas Corner? He got such a good jump at the start. He was able, the 22 kart going grass track in Minto on the grass for the Hunter Motorsport team. As everyone else hugged the inside line, as you tend to do on the first lap, at the end of lap number 1, Finlay Lines leads by 1.5 seconds. I said it before, nobody has done more winning at the start of the 2024 season across the board than Finlay Lines. Now, is this the race for just 2nd place, or can anybody suddenly sort of get themselves together and try and close it? The problem that we have, as there's a move by Zach Starbuck in the 88 car, is that Finlay Lines has been inch perfect all weekend.
And he has been indeed, and behind him is a fight between Haynes and Spencer. There's been 2 changes of position for holder of 2nd place. This is again very good for Finlay Lines. He's going to be able to pull away a 50.3 straight out the back there, 2.5 seconds. If Haynes, Spencer, Holmes, Ballack and the rest of them want to take that O-plate home, they've got to get organised. They've got to start getting that train together to pull in the time back to Finlay Lines. Not good news for the number 18 of Jensen Chalk. Is up into the top 10, but a 5-second in-race penalty will drop Chalk at the moment down to around 27th place.
Yeah, so fortunately, Jensen Chalk is not going to add the British O-plate to the Dubai O-plate he won earlier this year and last year in Micromax as well, sadly.
Going back a bit there, Albie Friend losing a couple of positions. That's all around the teens at the moment. 13th place being fought over at that point. 9.5 minutes to go. What is the gap looking like between 1st and 2nd? It's growing. Finlay Lines is hitting the times hard here. 49.86. It has continued to drizzle. If you were with us before the lunch break, there has been a continuation of that very light rain. Not enough for wet tyres. That's why the pace versus earlier in the weekend is down a bit as Blair Smith goes down the inside of Oliver Spencer for 4th place. But in these tricky, slippery conditions, a 49.86 is lightning pace from the race leader.
Yes, indeed. We are fighting over the minor placings. I mean, I thought that we were watching go-karting, not Formula One, because Max Verstappen, I mean, Finlay Lines is leading by a country mile at the moment. And pretty soon, there he is. So we'll give the Maximum Motorsport back driver his props. A quick check over the shoulder. Hunches down behind the paddock. Now, I know that Stuart is here. I'm sure Mum Nicky is either here or watching at home as they... and there's a problem. That is the number 42 of Oliver Spencer and the number 19 of Jack Collinson coming together, coming out of Christmas Corner. Just 2 into 1, won't go. And there's being... The 74 kart, that is Charlie King getting shown the outside of the circuit there. There's a bit of grass tracking. Somebody mentioned, it's strange that most of the Hunter Motorsport karts are on the Carlos Sainz chassis. That's because they're the sole UK importer of said wagon.
7 3/4 minutes to go then. Lines controls this race. 3.24 seconds. Keeps hitting those purple lap times. Keeps growing that gap out ahead of these drivers here. Edward Haynes in 2nd place. Luca Holmes Ballack there in 3rd place. For Oliver Spencer, that problem on the last lap means it will not be a repeat of the O-plate victory that Spencer had in the MicroMax category 12 months ago. For Luca Holmes-Balak, though, he was on the podium in that MicroMax final, so it could be another top 3 finish for Luca Holmes-Balak now in the higher category. There is the number 16 of Hasnain Khan, has been brilliant this weekend.
Yes, he has.
Has gained 2 positions in this race so far. Kian Bernard is flying through the order as well. He's got a little bit under the radar in this race. Started 18th. He's already up to 6th.
But, you know, one other thing, I talk about Hasnain Khan. I bumped into Hasnain's mum and his younger brother, who's got always. We'll talk about Hasnain Khan's younger brother in a minute, as we've got a change for second place. Luca Holmes-Balak moves into P2. Excellent Batman tracksuit bottoms for Hasnain's younger brother. The Batman and Wellington boot combination. Oh dear, it's not gone well for Finlay Lines.
Yeah.
So we've got a Haynes, a Hines, and a Lines in this race. Lines leads, Haynes is third, and sadly Hines is out.
That's the number 53 of Harry Taylor. He's had an up and down weekend. It's on the attack. Zach Starbuck through the toe of the boot. Gets past the number 5 of Joshua Griffin there. That is for 8th place. Albie Friend coming into this one as well. Very good, of course, in a one-off race. Very successful in the RMC Grand Finals in his young career. Another new fastest lap from Finlay Lines. Well, I don't think he's quite going to get the lap record due to the track conditions.
Well,
but this is still sterling stuff from the Synergy driver.
Lap record being a 48.9. He's only 0.4 of a second off. Last time bound, 49.3 for Finlay Lines. Edward Haynes and Luca Holmes-Balak, who were battling, did a 50.1 to 50.2. Blair Smith on another of the Synergy carts, a 49.53. So it just goes to show that, you know, it's not as though Finlay Lines' go-kart is half a second a lap quicker than everybody else. He has just utilised good qualifying, excellent track position, and by the time everybody else runs the same pace at him, he is 4.6 seconds up the road. Here's the battle of the seconds, and both Holmes-Balak and Haynes runs wide, and it's Blair Stonehouse-Smith into P2 in the number 8 card. At the moment, Mike Spencer's cup of joy is about to overflow because it's a Synergy 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's off there. That's Joshua Griffin out of the O-Plate final. Spins down at Ashby. Everybody goes by. Was up in 8th place. That is the end of things for Joshua Griffin in terms of contending for those podium places.
Yes, indeed. Now, Smith leads them through the curbing there over the hops at the final corner, and it is, well, Finlay Lines backed off. He's at 49.51 now, but we're not sure if there are any spots of rain.
Change for second place again, and Max Gilman's out of the race as well. We just saw there Luca Holmes-Balak back through into second place ahead of Blair Smith. Finlay Lines' lead is now out to 5 seconds and more yet again. This weekend he hasn't lost by less than 5 seconds in a single race, and it's a bit of a copy of the whole weekend so far for Finlay Lines. As you say, he's hit the early laps so hard as Haynes down the inside of Blair Smith on the entry to the boot. Lovely move that.
Yes.
One of those that's harder than it looks, if you ask me. That's back up into third. But this has been classic Lines so far this weekend. He's now started to hit traffic. Now this is something a little bit different for him. That's Joshua Griffin, a bit of a miscommunication there. Joshua Griffin, I don't think quite realised where Finlay Lines wanted him to go. Finlay Lines protest is now on the outside.
Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. Josh Griffin, he's upset because he spun out of the race. And these are still young kids, and you know the adrenaline. You can understand. However, the blue flags need to be out, and there they are. And Josh Griffin, he's not doing himself any favours here. I can understand how some of these drivers, they get upset because something happens out of their control. It's not their fault, and now Finlay Lines goes through, and Josh Griffin, black flag for Josh Griffin. you know, do not pass go, do not collect £200, go straight to the pits and have an appointment with the race stewards. And again,
you've got to give it to Lines there. He stayed so calm in all of what was going on there. The race for a moment was out of his control.
It's halved his lead. Oh dear, that's another synergy gone. That's Blair Smith that has gone off. You know, and Josh is a lovely kid. He's a lovely kid. I've known him for a long time, and he needs to learn from that, I think, as we all do. From time to time, there goes Albert Friend, followed by Oliver Spencer. That's the battle of the 6th and 7th. And Emerson McAndrew-Uren being chased by Zach Starbuck. And then, is it a Thule Kart or is it an MLC Kart? Can't tell because they look the same. I'm going to keep on that until one of them changes the graphics kit. However, now, Finlay Lines, the gap goes back up only by 1/10 of a second. As we look now at Haynes and Holmes-Ballock.
Still fighting over second place. Jensen Chalk having another really good run. Is up to 4th place now. A little bit further down the order, this is the battle. Was the battle for around 8th place. McAndrew, Uren and Starbuck all involved there with Alex Goodson. Back with our fight for second place. Here comes Jensen Chalk, but now down the inside, Edward Haynes. Side by side through the initial part of the boot. This is a great chance for Holmes-Ballock to break away now in second place and book himself a second podium in the O-Plate meeting for Rotax 2 years in a row. And fighting hard now, Chalk and Haynes over 3rd place.
Don't forget, Jensen Chalk's got a 5-second penalty.
Good point, yeah.
So that would put him down to about 10th position. But again, you know, he just wants to try and gain as many places on the road as he can. And well, Haynes and Chalk, they they had a couple of discussions in the grand finals at the Rotax Grand Finals at Bahrain back at the end of November, start of December. And Jensen Chalk, and they seem to be still discussing things now. And now it's the turn of Cian Bernard to close in. Albie Friend, you know, from where did Albie start on the grid? Down in 14th. Well, he started 16th on the grid for the O-Plate last year, 14th this year. By the time he gets to seniors, he'll be up on the front row and winning them. It's simple that, you know, it's progress. There's goes to Spencer, and there's Emerson McAndrew-Uren being chased by Zach Starbuck and Alex Goodson. Here's the battle further down the order, the 53 and the 11. That's Harry Taylor and Otis Cleary battling over 12th position. As we look now at Finlay Lines, has sort of calmed himself down and got up the road.
Time has expired now for Finlay Lines. He knows he's only a lap and a half away, if that, from becoming O-Plate champion by taking that O-Plate throughout the course of 2024. Another new fastest lap of the race, 49.32. Finlay Lines is looking to finish this one in style. Albie Friend is also finishing this one quickly, but it needs to get up past Jensen Chalk and then ahead to these two. What a last couple of laps from Edward Haynes has closed into the back of Luca Holmes-Ballock. The race for second place is still on for both of them. Fast finishing Bernard as well there in 6th, but look at this. Finlay Lines has put in a dominant performance throughout the whole weekend. He kept his cool in these tough conditions at Wilton Mill. He's going to come through the final chicane in 2024. Finlay Lines is your O-Plate champion in MiniMax 950. A dominant performance in the final. He wins by 4.86 seconds from Edward Haynes, who gets second place on the last lap. For Luca Holmes-Ballock, it's a second podium in the Rotax O-Plates in a row. He did it last year in Micro. He's done it again in Mini.
Drop a gear, disappear. Finlay Lines takes the biggest win of his career on what could be a very, very important year in that young man's karting journey this season. Haynes, Holmes-Ballock, Chalk will have a 5-second penalty, so it'll be Albert Friend in 4th, Cian Bernard in 5th, Spencer McAndrew-Uren, Zach Starbuck, then Alex Goodson. Chalk will be classified 10th provisionally, then it's Charlie King and the rest. Theo Bradshaw, Josh Cormack, Hasnain Khan falls to 17th position, and then sadly the list of retirements. It could have been so much better. It's still great for for the Synergy Racing team, a 1-3. At one point they had a 1-2-3 as well. And okay, so after a season in 2023 where it was all about, in MiniMax, where it was all about Dan Holland Racing and Strawberry Racing, there are some new kids on the block this year. And there is the fastest of the lot. Finlay Lines and Luca Holmes, Ballack and Blair Smith. There we go. Now, somewhere in the pack that I saw is mechanic Macaulay Austin taking a lot of praise, a lot of pay. I've just seen Rob Hodgkinson in the paddock. Who I haven't seen for about 15 years. A big to see Rob. There's Macaulay Austin in his hat. Again, he used to call it Macaulay, the Little Tin Man in karting, and you know, the Little Tin Man has guided Finlay Lines towards Oz.
And it doesn't even look like Finlay Lines has broken a sweat out there. Getting some congratulations.
Oh, this is what I like to see. They just give some high fives. Oh, so don't leave the guy hanging. There, someone gives him a high five with the Wera with the black, and that's a smart crash helmet. Can't leave a man hanging there if you're giving him a high five. There's Josh Cormack coming in, the Volker Tyre and MOT to this. But let's have a quick look back at the highlights of our first O-Plate final, Andrew.
Let's have a look indeed. 12 minutes to decide it, and it's again another very fast start from Finlay Lines. We've seen this through the course of the heats, through the course of the super heat as well. This, for me, is where he won this race, was able to get a big lead with everybody else squabbling over second place in the early stages. That's how we lost Riley Morrow at the start. Problems for Finlay Lines on a tough weekend there. In the end, both of those two drivers would retire. Drivers looking to make their way up through the order. It's a close moment for Daniel Minto in the number 22 out wide on the back straight. But look at the lead that Lines had early on, Henry. It's always going to be a very hard task for Spencer, Ballack and all the others to close in.
Yes, indeed. And here was the battle for the minor placings. Second in the Open Championship. And again, there was a couple of incidents there. That was Jack Collinson's race coming to not an end, but coming to an eventful midpoint. Battle of a second between Holmes Ballack and Edward Haynes was good. Holmes Ballack had the advantage at one point. Haynes got it back eventually. And the rest was all about that driver there. I do appreciate the several marriage proposals that I've received on there. All I want to know is how big your bank balance is. No, I'm joking. Thank you very much for the call. I haven't paid for them, honestly. That's another really good banner placement there. Yeah, almost as someone planned it. Kart Sim are in the paddock, as they will be all year. So for all your karting simulation needs in the UK, there we go.
In the Kart Sim van, which goes all over Europe as well.
The Kart Sim van goes all over Europe. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, a great run there for Finlay Lines. I don't think you could have really said any other driver to be more deserving than
Let's pick on a few things. Now there's Ronnie Smith down there in the black top. He's now moved on to car racing. But he's back in the car. Up top, you can see Reg Hayward on the left there, and you can see Mr. and Mrs. Crowther. Now, what a great advertisement. Come karting, they said. Enjoy time as a family, they said. It's the start of British summer time, they said. It's nice and warm, as Mr. and Mrs. Crowther shiver on top of the Coles racing bus. They just realised they're being talked about. Oh, there we go. Welcome to the UK, everybody.
Let's have a look at the provisional then. And, well, as I say, Finlay Lines taking the win, Edward Haynes. And let's throw down to the pit lane now for a chat with Nicole Sutherland.
So big congratulations to MiniMax second place O-Plate finisher Luca. Luca, how was your race?
Yeah, it was all right.
I bet you're proud of your performance this weekend?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And is there anybody you'd like to thank?
My granddad, my dad for taking me here, Synergy Factory team, Ross, my mechanic, and Mike and Rob.
It's a great result, Luca, very well done. We're just going to hear from race winner also, which is Finlay Lines. We could just get Finlay over. Finlay, can we grab you for an interview? Finn, huge congratulations. Dominant weekend, dominant performance out there. How was that for you?
Really good. I was really confused and disgusted by what Joshua Griffin when he was a lapped kart going around trying to defend and trying to brake check me and take me out the race, so and it's someone else could win. But apart from that, it was a pretty nice win for me.
Well, you dealt with the situation very maturely, so big pat on the back for you there. And is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Synergy for the amazing kart setup, Rob and Mike especially, KR Sport Engines, my mum and dad, Max and Motorsport, all my sponsors, Karting for all the good training, and everybody else that's been supporting me on my journey.
Well, congratulations, Finlay, and that one's for you. 2024 MiniMax O-Plate winner.